Here's Brody Brazil.
I already know I'm going to get criticized for maybe the lack of clarity, the title and the thumbnail of this video. It's kind of simple, but it's also hard to explain. It's almost hard to understand why exactly the Chargers, for 2 days this summer, are going back to San Diego. I know there's a question mark there. Really, the question is, what the heck are they thinking? And only going back for 2 days. Yes, it's training camp, and yes, this is like an exhibition session and situation, but the thought of going back to somewhere that you've already abandoned. Anyway, we'll get into it with the video here. There's just a lot going on, and I know that there's going to be a lot of emotions that come with this. Let me first explain what's happening here. The Chargers are going to hold training camp practices on July 22nd and 23rd at Torero Stadium on the campus of University of San Diego. The Chargers, as you probably know, spent 56 years in San Diego, starting in 1961, and then they moved to Los Angeles in 2017 after several years of a failed stadium deal and who would pay for this, and the Spanos family basically ripped this team out of the hands of San Diego. And it's so unfortunate, right? It didn't have to be this way. You think about San Diego as a proper sports market. They do so well supporting the Padres, and they did so well supporting the Chargers. And to leave this for Los Angeles, where, let's be honest, in some circles and to a large degree, they're not even necessarily wanted in Los Angeles. LA used to be the Raiders and Rams. And obviously the Raiders have been all over the place. The Rams have been to St. Louis and back. And for Los Angeles, it was all about having 2 NFL teams, then having none for all those years, a surprising amount of years, and then going back to 2 teams that both share SoFi Stadium. And so when the Chargers found out, hey, they're building a stadium in Inglewood and we could be part of this and our situation isn't working here, it just seemed like the early exit. It seemed like the easy thing to do and definitely not the right thing to do. And there's 2 things I want to say about this situation, 2 statements I'll absolutely make here from my own opinion. San Diego completely deserves and can support very well an NFL franchise. They should still have an NFL team in San Diego in the same way that the NBA should still be in Seattle. In my opinion, the same way that there should be Major League Baseball in Oakland. But I digress. The other part about it is to leave San Diego for Los Angeles, who already got the Rams back and never really wanted the Chargers, but got the Chargers as part of this. And look, the fans put up their fight. They made their voice heard. They spoke their piece. Unfortunately, it didn't work out their way, and that's kind of the unfortunate part about all this. It's that common situation. Team can't get it done with a city, with a county government, and then the team uproots itself, no matter what they said, no matter what they promised, and did it in the most unfortunate circumstances. They played at the temporary stadium in Los Angeles before moving into SoFi Stadium. It was just a mess. But now I want to move on back to the present. Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh, he actually was asked about these training camp sessions and going back to San Diego. Here's what he said.
Yeah, just a great feeling for the whole organization. We want to go where our fans are. Sure. They come to see us. They come to SoFi. They come to training camp. That means a lot to us. Means everything, really. To have that support on game day and practice days. But for us to go and visit them, if we have that opportunity, we sure as heck want to take it.
I mean, that's a certain spin. That's a Harbaugh way of putting things, right? Taking a negative and twisting it into a positive. Let me get to my takeaways here. Cue the stinger. From the team perspective, I'm going to do this 2 different ways. It's a dual set of takeaways here, from the team perspective first and then from the fan perspective. It's possible that most inside the Chargers organization who made this decision to say, hey, let's do training camp for 2 days, 22nd, 23rd of July. Let's bring our team back to San Diego. It's possible that the people who made that decision were also not associated with the Chargers at all back in 2017 or the years prior to go through all that turmoil before they left. In fact, I would say it's likely. I don't know this for fact. I'm just guessing, understanding the nature of the business of sports and how sports teams operate. There's not a lot of people that stick around in a franchise with its move from 2017 and in the years since then. So I would imagine that the people who might have made this decision are not experienced in what exactly happened and how it went down, and a little bit maybe out of touch of the emotions of all this, because it's a pretty bold statement, as I mentioned at the start of this video, to go back to a place in a city that you once abandoned. And I don't even mean for a game. I mean like trying to hold a practice session and trying to get that warm reception. And you'd have to imagine there's going to be some autograph sessions and a little bit of outreach when they go back to San Diego. I doubt they're going to come in, do 2 practices, open it to the minimal amount of public, and that's it. They're going to try and spread their message, spread their word a little bit while they're back in San Diego. It's a pretty bold statement. I mean, less than 10 years since moving away, abandoning it. Let's not even call it moving away, abandoning San Diego, and to go right back to it. And the other part about the team perspective, wouldn't it have been so much easier and so much cheaper if you're trying to always save money, or it's all about minimizing effort, especially during training camp, there's enough going on. Wouldn't it have been easier to just not do this, not go to San Diego, not make your equipment staff pack everything up, put all your players on buses, get hotels and food and meals, and move everything down for 2 days? If you were going there for a week, you're like, all right, maybe this is worth the trip. But to do it for 2 days, it would have been so much easier for the team to not do this. Unless I'm missing something, they're not forced out of their current training camp facility to go to San Diego for this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It would have been easier to just have this as an idea and not act on it. But they're going through with it. So it's very intentional that they're doing this. And they must have some research on San Diego and the fan base. Are there still enough fans? What is the current sentiment for and or against this football franchise for moving away less than 10 years ago? So they must think. They must have the numbers. They must have run these numbers to think that they're going to get some support and it's beneficial to be doing this. Now from the fan side of things, I can't understand, and I don't want to say not all fans, I want to say I can't understand why most fans in San Diego would support this. There will be some who do. I can't, you need to give me a good explanation on that. The team literally left you high and dry. They left you in the dust. And it's a good thing the Padres didn't. They were able to build that brand new beautiful ballpark, Petco Park, downtown San Diego, right next to the gas lamp. So somebody was able to get things done in San Diego. The Spanos family and the Chargers, they were not. And they could have tried maybe a little bit harder. Did they show their math on the way out? I know there were some votes, but still, there have to be ways to get things done. Moving and relocating has to be a last resort. It doesn't seem like it was a last resort in this situation either. I can understand why most former Charger, San Diego football fans would not support this. I can understand why most would support this. I would also understand if some fans took the opportunity to go out there and show a little opposition, right? Save our Bolts, whatever their signs that they want to bring, whatever statements they want to make about the Chargers and ownership and all that stuff. I would understand it. I am not encouraging the start of some resistance here. I'm not encouraging anything dumb or out of the way or illegal or improper or immoral here. I'm not trying to stir that pot. But I'm just saying I would understand if some fans go there with signs and messages and shirts to say that they're still upset. I guess I wouldn't understand why they're there, but maybe they're there just to protest, right? Maybe that's why they're there, to be against this actually happening. I do think, though, that in a training camp situation, especially at a place like Torero Stadium, they will get enough fans to show up where the Chargers are going to look at this and say, oh, this place is pretty full. We should come back and do this again next year. Even though the large majority of San Diegans might still feel pretty awkward and weird and upset. All of this feels just, again, a little bit weird to go back to this place and say, well, we once had fans here, but you know what? It's kind of like you owe them time. You owe them a lot of decades before you even think about coming back. And I don't want to say rubbing this in their face. I get it. It seems like the courteous thing to do. And like Harbaugh said, well, we want to go out and we want to connect with our fans. But like, do you know the sentiments of how they exactly feel about you coming back to their place with your team that you just ran away with? So we'll see. Yes, it's true. The Chargers are going back to San Diego. Not permanently, literally for 2 days. And even that is the question mark here. I don't know if I understand this, if I'm a San Diegan, by the way, I love San Diego, one of the places I would definitely consider also living in my life. If I were a native San Diegan, I think I'd be pretty upset about this, actually. I wouldn't even be neutral. I think I'd be pretty upset. Let me know how you feel about all this in the comment section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel. I would definitely love to see you back here next time.